All right, today 8-2, lateral area and surface area of prisms and pyramids. So I'm going to leave this here for a second. You guys can pause it and go ahead and fill this in for yourself if you haven't already. Okay, so polyhedron. So a polyhedron is a fancy word for three-dimensional shape. All right, so if you want to draw yourself like a prism, you can just do a rectangle, which is the base. The rectangle comes inside of it, and then you just connect the corners. And there's a prism. Pyramids are like a square, and then you put like a dot up above it, and then you just connect that dot to the four corners, and you can make yourself a pyramid. All right, remember, you're doing three-dimensional shape in 2 dimensions, so it's kind of hard to, might be kind of hard to get your head around it, but understand you may not be able to see all the sides. Like here, we wouldn't see this side, so that makes it a little bit easier. All right, a face is a flat surface that forms part of the boundary of an object. So, for example, if we're looking at our rectangular prism, right, and this is kind of what it would look like. Okay, this is a face. All right, in your face. There we go. Okay, an edge. So, same thing. We have a rectangular prism here, right? Okay, connect the corners. So an edge would be this part down here, a segment that joins 2 vertices, called the side. So this line right there, that's an edge. All right, and a vertex is the same thing here, right? So that's not very well drawn. Connect these all. The vertex is the corner right there where those meet. All right? Okay, so name all the faces, vertices, edges for the following figure. So pause it here, take a look for yourself and go through it. See if you can name them, and then we'll go through it. So, all right, so coplanar means on the same plane, which means they're on the same face. So when we talk about planar surface, like a plane, so if you think about, like, for example, this triangle right here, right, where all the points on there, the vertices on there is RUV. If you look at this rectangle right here, it's SRVW. So, yeah, hold on, time out. Okay, let's go back to this. So, name all the faces. So faces we just talked about, we've named by 3 coplanar points. So this guy right here would be RUV, okay? That's a coplanar, that's a plane. So RUV would be one. You have this guy right here on the top we just talked about, SRVW. You only have to use 3 letters, so you could use SRV or SVWV or WVR. Just any 3 of those is fine. If you want to use all 4, you're more than welcome to. So STUR here, or STU would be another one. Okay. And then TWV down at the bottom. And if you want to put down a U to use 4, that's fine as well. Okay, those are the planes. Edges named by where the endpoints, just the line table. So the RU is one, right? We got RV, we got UV, we got WV, right? SW, TS, there's a whole bunch of them here. RS, all right? Going along, UT is one of them, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think we get, you got them all. And so we should be good to go. We're missing 2, but we'll get there. All right, vertices, the single letter, so just the points. So S, T, W, V, R, U. All right, and that's that. Okay, prisms. Prisms are formed when you have 2 parallel faces, and so the bases are always parallel to one another. So here, if we have this figure, we might talk about the bases being these 2 polygons right here. All right, so there's 2 bases. The shape of the base is some sort of polygon. All right, and the lateral faces is two things. If it's a right prism, it's a rectangle. And if it's oblique, we'll talk about that on the next page, which just means that it's slanted. It's not straight up and down. Then it's a parallelogram. How about we move this up so you can see it now? All right. Pyramids are the other shape. So there's one base. Once again, it's a polygon, which means it's like a square, rectangle, rhombus, octagon, one of those things. And the shape of the lateral faces are always triangles. Okay? If it's a regular prism, which means the base is like a regular shape, like a square, equilateral, triangle, they're isosceles triangles. Okay? So, two things we're talking about today are lateral area and surface area. So lateral area is just the area of the faces, lateral faces around the side with no bases. So just remember, it's the faces without the bases. The surface area is the lateral area, and then the area of the two bases. Okay, we talked about right prism before. So a right prism is where the height is actually one of the sides. So the lateral face here is perpendicular to the base. And oblique means that the height is not one of the sides. Okay, the bases are not perpendicular to the lateral edges. All right, so the surface area and lateral area is pretty easy. The lateral area formula is actually the perimeter of the base times the height. Okay, so perimeter of the base times the height. All right. And then the surface area is that formula. So it's pH plus 2 times capital B. We use capital B here to represent the area of the base. So we see capital B, that means the area of the base. Okay. So essentially, just remember that the lateral faces is the lateral area. Okay. And that the bases are on the bottom. If you can keep that in mind, you'll be good here. Okay. So for number 2, let's go through here, find the lateral area. So this is the base is on the bottom here, that side down there. So the lateral area is equal to P times H. As you can see, 3, 4, this would be 3 and 4 as well. So the perimeter is 7 plus 7 is 14, times the height here, which is 6. And then the lateral area is 6 times 4 is 24, should be 84. And then units, so feet squared. All right. If you don't want to do that, then you just want to keep in mind you forgot the formula. Just think like this side right here is 6 times 3, and there's 2 of them. This over here is 6 times 4, and there's 2 of them. And then you just put them together. So like 2 times 18 plus 2 times 24. This is going to be 36 plus 48. And what do you know? It's also equal to 84. Okay? So hexagonal prism, we're going to use the area is going to be this hexagon right here. That's the hexagon. That's the base. Okay? So when you see the name, that first word describes the base. So we know that the base is a hexagon. So, and our lateral area is going to be the perimeter of the base, right? So there's 6 sides of 6. So lateral area equals pH. So 6 times 6 is 36, times the height, which is 12, and then we just multiply. So, there you go. And we should get 432. Remember, it's still area, so it's still units squared. All right, surface area. So we got a trapezoidal prism, so the bases are this. So we're going to do the area of the trapezoid, and then the pH here. So the surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. So let's do the formula. pH plus 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. And really we're doubling that, right? So keep in mind that the 2 and the 1/2 are going to kind of drop out here. And then you should be good to go. So the perimeter of the base is the 8.1, 4, 4, and 2.8. So you can add those together. Which is 18.9 times the height, which is 12. And then this cancels out, so we just get left with the height, which is this distance right here. So, sorry, this is the height of the prism, not the height of the whole thing. So when we talk about the height of the prism is this part, this is the height of the trapezoid, which is this part. Because remember, we're doing the area of the trapezoid. So it's actually 3, and then the two bases are 8.1, and then 2.8. And we just do the math. So this is 226.8. And this is 32.7. And then we just add those together. And I get 259.5. And then that's, you can split unit squared here as well. All right, see if you can finish with the triangular prism on your own. And we'll hop over to pyramids. So pyramid, once again, it's a single base. Lateral faces made with triangles, and they meet up at the point, and this point is called the vertex. So this point at the top is the vertex. So we got lateral edges on the side where the faces meet. Okay, the slant. Now that we'll talk about this in a second. The height of the prism is the line straight down, like if you dropped a rope from the vertex, where it would hit on the base right in the middle here. Okay, and the slant height is the height of the triangular face. So the height of the triangle on the side is called the slant height. All right, so if you slid down the pyramid here, right, that path you would take, that's the slant height. The symbol for the slant height is a lowercase l. Now, if you open up the pyramid, this is what it's going to look like. There's the base with the sides, and then the slant height. So 1/2 base times the slant height, right? And then those added together, that's where we're going to get the lateral area from. So the lateral area formula is 1/2 p times, which is the perimeter base, times the slant height, and the surface area formula is just that. So 1/2 PL plus whatever the area of the base is. Right? So we'll try this guy right here. So lateral area is just the area of these triangles. All right. So it's lateral area formula. It's 1/2 PL. 1/2, and this is we're going to go these are all equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. So the perimeter is going to be 30. And the slant height is the height down, which is 6.9. All right. So half of 30 is really 15 times 6.9, and we get 103.5 meters. Now, same thing. There's 6 triangles, right? If this is a regular hexagon, which is the area of one triangle and multiplied by 6. So if we do 1/2 5 times 6.9, and then we're going to multiply it times 6, you can see where this formula is coming from. 6 times 5 is a 30, and then 1/2 of 6.9. And so that's just another way you can go about doing that. Okay, number 2 here. So this guy right here, right, lateral area and surface area. So the lateral area first is 1/2 PL. So if this is a square, this is just 1/2 7 times 4, which is 28, times the slant height, which is 11. The surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the base. So here, we would do really 14 times 11, because half of 28. So this is 154 inches squared, the lateral area. So that's 154 plus, and then it's 7 times 7, which is just 49. Because the area of the base is the base times the height here. So we end up with 203 inches squared. And that's all you're going to do. For this one over here, just keep in mind that when this hits, this is half of that. So this is going to be 15. And you're going to have to do the Pythagorean theorem to get this line. Okay? So this is actually equal to squared, 36.4 squared, plus 15 squared. If you're not sure where it's coming from, just remember a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So the square root of that is kind of where that's coming from. But just do the Pythagorean theorem, get c, that's going to be your slant height, and then you're going to go to work. Okay? So try this one on your own as well. And then finishing up this worksheet is going to be your homework for tonight. So get those other 2 done we didn't do, and we'll go over this in class on Thursday. All right? Thanks a lot, guys. See you.